Hey, I want to show you something really cool that a friend of mine makes. They're called StorySticks. All right, and these StorySticks are really cool. They're basically 4 sticks that are attached together, and they come in different sizes. There's a little pocket version. Where's my little pocket version? Here, I'll grab it really quick. Here's my little pocket version so I can have them with me everywhere I go. There's even some little kid versions made of plastic. There's a jumbo version. I don't have the jumbo version yet, but my good friend Barney makes these story sticks, and he's had so much fun with these sticks. In fact, they've been around for years, but Barney has taken it to a whole new level. He has figured out the whole alphabet. He's figured out numbers, symbols. He actually has a lexicon of all the words. It's like a dictionary for story sticks. So I'm going to tell you a Bible story with these, but let me give you a sample here. So I'm going to see, now I'm not the expert at it. I'm going to show you how to do the letter K. So there we go. The letter K is like that. There's my arm. So there's K, and then there's the letter A right there. My arm finishes it right there. Let's see here. There we go. Letter A. That looks pretty good. And then for R, I got to turn it around this way. Letter R. This backwards Facebook thing drives you crazy. R and the letter L. So there we go. We have K-A-R-L. Maybe I could even do Jesus. Let me see here. So there's a J for you. Trying to stay on camera. And then you can do a big E, but I like doing the little E, J, E, and then of course S. There we go. We got to do our fancy big letter S there. Backwards. There we go. S, U, letter U. There we go. U. And we'll do the S again. All right. There we go. And did I do it backwards again? There we go. S. Yeah, normally you don't have to do, I should do it this way. So anyway, you can spell anything. And you can do lots of different symbols and shapes. In fact, if you wanted to make your own, you could even get a piece of paper and just chop it into 4 pieces. Get some of those little brats and just connect the ends, and you would have your own story stick. So let me share with you one of my favorite story stick stories. And it's about this poor guy who was in his house looking out his window. And the reason he was always looking out the window is he was very sad, because outside that window, he saw other people running and playing and going out and going shopping and doing all kinds of things to enjoy life. And he could only watch from inside the window because, you see, this man was paralyzed, right? And paralyzed means that he couldn't get up. He couldn't walk. So he spent most of his life just laying on a mat. Well, this guy was fortunate enough that he had some good friends. In fact, he had 4 friends. And these 4 friends, they felt really bad for him. And they would visit him and they would try to, take him places. But they heard that there was a really unique, special, amazing person in town. And his name was Jesus. They already spelled out Jesus, so I won't do it again. And so what they did is they went to their friend. They said, come on, you got to go. There's this guy named Jesus, and he's actually does like miracles. We heard stories that he has healed people. So you got to come and go. And he's like, I can't come. They're like, come on. We do this all the time. So they picked up his mat, and they began to carry him and take him to Jesus. The problem was Jesus was really popular, and lots of people were going to see him. And Jesus was in this house, and he was teaching, telling people about God, and talking about the prophecies that have been fulfilled, and trying to turn people's hearts back to God. And when his friends got there with the mat, they're like, we'll never get in there. 4 of us with a mat. Now, you have to understand something about houses back in Bible times. See, our houses, we have these nice pointy roofs, right? But the houses in Bible times, they had flat roofs, all right? And sometimes they even had stairs going up to the side of the house. So his 4 friends, they picked up his mat, and they decided, we're not going to let these crowds stop us. We're going to go right up the stairs, right with our buddy. There we go. And we're going to go right up the stairs. They carried him up to the top, and they got up on the roof, and they're like, well, now what do we do? And so they thought about it. They thought for about 3 minutes when they got this great idea. they decided they were going to just dig right through the roof. So they grabbed some shovels up there, and they just started digging into the roof, just digging into it, just tearing the roof all up. And eventually they broke through, and there was a little hole, and there were people up there like, what is this stuff falling down from inside? And they kept digging until they had created a hole in the floor. And they looked down through the hole, and everyone inside was looking up through the hole going, there's like 4 guys up there. And then they kept ripping it away and ripping away. And I would love to know what Jesus thought, because he could know their minds, know their hearts. And he's probably chuckling to himself and going, man, those are some good friends. Well, eventually they got that hole big enough that they took their friend and they just lowered him all the way down to Jesus. And so he ended up laying there right in the middle of the house, in the middle of the crowd. And the friends, I don't know if they jumped through the hole or if they went back down the stairs and ran through the front door, but they got in there, and Jesus looked at this man and he said, your sins are forgiven. Because of the faith of your friends, your sins are forgiven. Well, it's nice to have your sins forgiven, but he wasn't too worried about his friends. But then something amazing happened. He began to sit up. And so he knelt, and he was like, I can sit. Wait a minute. I can stand. And he was upright like he had never been before. And he's standing there, and he's so amazed. And Jesus says, hey, pick up your mat. You don't need that anymore. So he picked up his mat. He folded up his mat, and he put it under his arm, and he did the most incredible thing. He walked right out of there. I love this. This is my favorite one. He just walked right out of there and began to tell everyone about Jesus. And everybody else inside, they started raising their hand, and they just started praising the Lord because they had just seen the most incredible thing. You know what I love about this story is that it was not the faith of the paralyzed man that resulted in him being healed. It was the faith of his 4 friends. They're the ones who took him to Jesus.